FromSoft is that company that makes those hard games. If you've been gaming long enough, you know their reputation. You've heard of those Souls games. Or likely you have that one weirdo friend who's really into them that constantly keeps trying to get you to play them. But usually what happens as they describe them is that they make them sound more miserable than fun, so you're never convinced. Then you see Elden Ring. You look at those reviews and all that critical acclaim and you think, okay, I'll bite. This game seems like it's one of the best games ever made. I'll give these Souls games a shot. And I'm here to tell you, maybe you should reconsider that decision. Now, I've been playing these games for about a decade, and throughout the years I put in over 10,000 hours into all the Souls games and their Souls adjacent counterparts. I played through them multiple times. I'm the kind of person that'll sit back and relax, throw on a lore video as I slap together yet another PvP build. Right now I'm on my 4th playthrough of Elden Ring. I am that weirdo friend that's constantly trying to get you to play them. I want you to love the misery as I do. But as a newcomer, as a noob, Elden Ring is not the place to start. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say this game is bad. Quite the contrary, I wouldn't be on my 4th playthrough of it if it was. However, Elden Ring may be FromSoft's newest IP, but it is a new IP in name only. For all intents and purposes, this is Dark Souls 4. Or more specifically, Souls, the definitive edition. It is everything a Souls fan could have wanted out of it, for better and for worse. When I saw those review scores, it put a huge grin on my face, and I was eager to get the game in my hands. But by the time I was near the end of it, I started to wonder a couple of things. Was this game handed only to super mega fans that could say nothing wrong about it? Or did the reviewers even beat the game? I know one review I heard, and the person openly admitted that they had not yet actually beat it. I have a lot to say about this game, good and bad. But if I did that right now, this would be a 3-hour long critique video, and that's not the point of this, so I'm going to keep it brief. I will certainly go into greater detail in upcoming videos, but simply put, this is a dark fantasy open world action RPG. The aesthetic is absolutely gorgeous and consistent throughout. It is a beautiful game. The world itself is huge and littered with little secrets and environmental storytelling that is virtually unmatched in most other open world games. The overall map layout and level design is amongst FromSoft's finest and some of the best in all of gaming. But this is a FromSoft game. It is difficult. That is what they do, and they wear it like a badge of honor. But I'm starting to wonder if maybe they've let their reputation go to their heads a little bit. It could just be that the transition to an open world setting has thrown that deliberate pacing and difficulty balance their games have previously been known for completely out of whack. Or it could be that they are just evil and do not care one bit if people actually enjoy their games anymore, because they know they don't have to. They've got a rabid fan base of maniacs that are ready to swear that anything they release is the greatest thing that has ever been made. I have no clue. All I know is from the moment you're let loose into that game world, you are greeted by a big guy on a horse, ready to bash your teeth in. And from that point on, the game does not let up. One of the very first caves you might stumble inside of has 2 bosses surrounded by a mob of little monkey people. You could be riding around the starter map, minding your own business, when boom, crushed like the dignity of a gaming YouTuber that just accepted a sponsorship from Raid Shadow Legends, by some dragon that swoops in out of nowhere that you don't even get to see before you're dead. You might wander into a forest early in the game and get mauled by a bunch of angry bears, these giant things that I now hate. I didn't used to care about bears, they were just furry things that caught salmon or whatever. But thanks to this game, I absolutely loathe them. I remember this one bear in this one regular mid-level cave that had so much health and hit so hard that I could have sworn he was some sort of special character, some ancient bear of lore, king of the bear folk in the times before the great battles between the rotting incest girl and General Horse Lover. So I come back later when I'm a little more leveled up, and I defeat it. And no, just some random overpowered bear in some random cave, for no real reason whatsoever. A lot of these truly annoying moments were mostly front-loaded into the game, when the player is least prepared to deal with them. This is something FromSoft loves to do. It almost serves as a warning to the player, letting them know you are not welcome here. However, when I reached the first main boss is when I realized that there was something really off about all of this. Now I'm just gonna flat out say it. It needs to be said. I know what I'm inviting in the comment section. I don't care. Some of the main bosses in this game are obnoxiously difficult and terribly unbalanced. I know there's gonna be at least one comment saying, "Oh, you suck at the game. These are the easiest bosses they've made so far." No. You are a lying liar. You should be ashamed of yourself, and I hope your mommy is very disappointed with you. You know deep down inside that when you first faced these things, and you didn't know exactly what the exploit was, that they were not pleasant to deal with. And to a new player, they are going to be an absolute nightmare. The endgame stretch is a marathon of 5 straight bosses with little to no break in between, just back to back to back to back to back to back. I'm not going to spoil any of them for you by showing them here. Let's just say that one of them has a phase 2 that's the equivalent of a massive squirrel that's been handed a sword and given way too much cafecito for its own good, just flipping around the entire arena, whose attacks will continue to drain your health bar even after they've hit. The final boss? Actually 2 bosses with their own complete health bar that you have to beat in quick succession with no break whatsoever. This became an endurance challenge by the end of everything that was more tedious and unpleasant than fun. It was exhausting, and I just wanted it all over with. By the time I was done, I didn't feel satisfied. I felt annoyed. And what did I do? Start a new game. My first playthrough is usually a pretty straightforward affair. Sword and shield, keep it simple, try to make it from point A to point B as quick as you can. I want to save all the secrets and goodies for my inevitable second and third and fourth and fifth and sixth playthrough. And there were times that I hit that difficulty wall so hard that I was wondering if maybe I was playing all of this wrong. And I may very well have been, because my second playthrough was practically trivialized by a random item that I found in a secret area that opens up in a place where most players wouldn't think to go back to. And this is part of the problem with the difficulty balance. I never had this issue, and I haven't felt like this in years since my first playthrough of the original Dark Souls all those years ago. Regardless of what all those get good tryhards out there might have to say about it, my grievances towards this game are legitimate. Looking at the trophy list and the percentages of player drop-off, you could tell almost exactly where most players just said, "Nope, I've had enough of this crap, I'm not doing this anymore." And it echoes my feelings towards this almost exactly. Despite all this, I'm still playing, and will continue to do so for the next several months, uncovering every last little secret and tinkering with all the different weapon types and spells and whatnot, and invading, and being invaded, and doing some jolly cooperation, and all those other things that Souls fans love to hate, and hate to love. This is an incredibly well-made game, with a lot of care put into every aspect of its design. It feels like a love letter to Souls veterans everywhere. But to the new player, someone who isn't accustomed to what these games are supposed to be, it may all seem a bit like some sort of sadistic hazing ritual. And as your friend, that weirdo that keeps trying to get you to play them, I want as many people as possible getting into these games, so FromSoft can just keep making more of these terrible pieces of garbage that make me want to smash my controller against my forehead. But this is Souls turned up to 11, and it may be a bit much for some. I'd say pick up the originals. If you have a PS5 or a PS3, try out some Demon Souls. Dip your toes in the water before you dive headlong into that poison swamp. If Elden Ring is your first Souls experience, have patience. Take your time, explore every last little nook and cranny of this massive game world. Level up your character, strengthen those weapons, and most importantly, just get good, you filthy casuals.